Alright guys, we were recording our kicks. And I also let's see. We're continuing from the last part. Here we're still recording it. Let's record our snare as well and edit both the kick and the snare together. Let's see what we've got. Oh, they look good. Some of them are off. I can see the first one. Let's just snap it to the right position. Let's take that snare drum as well. I removed one as well, one kick. We don't need two kicks, so let's delete. Let's first correct this. Oh, I have both selected. It happens sometimes. Oh, what happened there? We have an extra kick in there. We need to find it. Oh, there's the snare. The snare is wrong as well. And then we have a kick below it. I see it. Let's just correct that as well. This doesn't have to be the final drums that you create. It's just like the first thing. You figure out what works with this melody. But I'm quite satisfied with it. I don't need to make it perfect. You can play around with it as long as you like, though I recommend you finish it quite quickly so that you get something done. Oh, I like that hi-hat. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got 3 of them. That's a little bit off. Let's fix it. Oh, I moved it down. Change the instrument if you do it. That one is a little bit off, but that's all right. Now let's fix it as well. Alright, it's starting to sound good. I like it. Yeah. Alright, shall we add something else? Let's just get an overview and listen to the beat. Yeah. Can't wait for the 808 as well. Alright, I'm just enjoying the beat, listening, trying to figure out. Now it's just playing, so to say. I'm trying to see what other instrument we can find. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's have some of those. Alright, I believe I like it already. Let's just play a little bit more and then start recording it. We're recording. Sounds good. Let's just correct it. Let's see what we did. Where are they at? Where are they at? Oh, there. The tiny ones. Alright, let's correct that one. Snap it right. Good. Let's listen. I feel like it's too much. It feels like repeating. It's not surprising. It feels like just repeating itself. Oh, we had one error there as well. It wasn't fully snapped. Yeah, and that one as well. It's just, you have to hold it in first before you move it. Otherwise you just click it, it deletes the note. Let's continue. The first one is good. The second one feels like just a repeating, like a repeating pattern. I don't like that. I want the music to feel like real and touch deep. So let's just leave it for now. Listen to all of it. Alright, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Let's try removing one of them. Listen. Sounds okay, but I feel like I want to move it. It still doesn't sound repeating, but it sounds lacking. It lacks it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move them a bit more further away from the first one. Let's go put them on here. Let's try that. I believe that's too early. Let's just see. Oh, that was too early, I believe. Let's see. What is it that I'm doing wrong? It was way too early. It has to start there, maybe. Let's try. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I like it. That one in between them, we don't need it as well. We can have it for a while. Change it later. At least it didn't sound repeating, like it was just repeating itself. That's boring. Let's see what we gonna do now. Let's get an 808. Let's get an 808, saturated 808. Let's just see, fat 90s sounds good too. Nah, man. Percussion, plunk, glitch. Let's just go with the 808. I like it. Let's see. Oh, let's take that one. First, let's just play around with it. I want the 808 to be like a melody. You can have it just like with your kicks. That's the easiest way. But I want to have like a bass type feeling pt.2. Let's see. Okay. Still just playing around. What I'm doing here is I'm listening to the keys here, the notes, whichever sounds like it fits in, and then I'm rearranging them after I figure out which ones sound good to this melody. So that was a simple rearranging of them, and I figured out these ones sounds good to it. That was one key too much, but let's listen. I like it. Yeah, let's record that before I forget it. Done. Did it. Now it's just playing by itself what we recorded. So let's just correct them. Let's correct them. Let's see, that was a little bit off. I don't know if that's where it shall start. Well, let's listen. I believe it is, because the second one looked a lot closer to that position. Oh, I have both of them selected. Nah, man. I have to deselect and correct the second one again now. Oh, there we go. What more? What else? What else? That one. Yeah. First you have to hold it and then drag it. Otherwise you click on it and it disappears. Here we have one that looks very wrong. Let's correct that one as well. There we go. I like it. I can't wait until we add them filters to this one, because this is just like the raw finished product, unfinished product, the raw version of it. And then we'll get fancy with them filters as well. I can't wait. Alright, I believe this is like the whole beat. This is like the core of the beat. Then you add the filters and you add timings and you mix with the drums and go sometimes without the 808s, sometimes without the kicks, sometimes hi-hats only. This sounds good. Sometimes 808 only. You have to give like a variation to it. Sometimes you go with fewer instruments, and sometimes you leave one instrument out. Yeah, and that's about it. And I also have to correct myself from the first tutorial when I said that the first bar is from the first to second to number 2, and then I said the first bar ends at number 1. I was supposed to say the first bar ends at number 2 where it starts. And when you drag the loop section, you get those red arrows and drag them. And when you activate the loop, you press somewhere in between those 2 arrows. So that's just what I wanted to correct. Anyways, if you like these 2 tutorials, and if you haven't watched the first one, go back and watch it if you feel like you need it, and then come back to the second one. And if you like the second one, stay tuned and subscribe and wait for the third one when we'll add the filters. And after the filters, we'll rearrange the beat and get the core to become a whole beat. The full length, like 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll add some vocals to it as well.